Welcome to the next episode of the Perfectly Imperfect Spiritual Podcast. My name is Marta, Marta the Medium. I am your host, and this is a space where spirituality meets real life, where intuition becomes lived self trust, where we stop performing healing and we actually integrate it. Today, I want to speak about something that has quietly changed my entire life: clean signal. If you're listening to this and you've been wondering why you feel so much, why you get drained so easily, why certain spaces or conversations leave you foggy or heavy, I want you to hear me. You are not broken. You might simply be overstimulated by people, by pressure, by emotional atmosphere, by expectations, by trying to keep the peace, by carrying more than you realize, by absorbing things you never consciously agreed to carry. And when your system is perceptive, it becomes very easy to confuse noise with truth. I also want to slow down because not everyone listening uses spiritual language. You might not call it intuition, you might not call it guidance, you might not have words for it at all, and it's absolutely fine. You might just know it like this: I had a weird feeling, something felt off. I couldn't explain it, but I knew. I don't know why, I just didn't want to. I felt heavy around that person. I felt relief when I cancelled. I felt tense and I didn't know why. This is still information. Your inner signal doesn't always arrive like a clear sentence. A lot of the time, it arrives as sensation, as expansion or contraction, as relief or dread, as your body saying yes or no before your mind catches up. And if you don't have language for your inner signal, you might override it without even realizing. You might talk yourself out of it. You might call it being dramatic. You might call it being sensitive. You might call it overthinking. But very often, it is simply perception. So when I use the word intuition in this episode, I am not talking about something mystical that only a few people have. I'm talking about your ability, everyone's ability to register what is true for you. Sometimes it is subtle, sometimes it is immediate, sometimes it is just the feeling of no, not that, or yes, that. And then the mind starts negotiating. That's where things get messy because the mind loves to rationalize. It wants evidence, it wants to be liked, it wants to avoid discomfort, it wants to keep you safe, even if the cost is that you abandon yourself. And if you're sensitive, you might not only be hearing your mind, you might also be picking up emotional atmosphere, which means you need discernment even more, not less. Now, when I say sensitive, you might not call yourself sensitive at all. You might just think you're tired or moody or easily irritated, or you might quietly wonder what is wrong with you because certain places drain you and you can't explain why. So let me define what I mean by sensitivity. Sensitivity means your system picks up more information than the average person. Not only physical noise, but emotional and energetic data. You register atmosphere, you notice subtle shifts, you feel what's underneath what people are saying, you Walk into a room and you can tell immediately if something is off, even if nobody has said a word. You might leave a conversation and feel heavier, foggier, or even more agitated, and you can't trace it to anything specific. You might need a lot of quiet after social contact, not because you are antisocial, but because your system has processed more than you realize. Sensitivity can look like overthinking after conversations because your body is still holding the emotional charge. It can look like feeling responsible for harmony without anyone asking you to. It can look like picking up other people's moods and assuming they are yours. It can also look like being drained by crowded places, certain shops, certain spaces, even when nothing bad happened. Here is the line that I would like you to take with you. Sensitivity is information, it's data. It's your system reading the world. And what makes sensitivity exhausting is not the sensitivity itself. It is living with your field wide open with no filtration. It's not knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't. As a medium, I learned early that if you don't know the difference between signal and interference, you will exhaust yourself. Sensitivity is not the same as clarity. In the beginning, I could feel everything: atmospheres, grief, shock, anger, the tension someone is hiding, the sadness someone is suppressing, the emotional charge in a room. And if you're sensitive, you know what I mean. Your body registers something before your mind can explain it. Your solar plexus responds, your heart responds, your throat tightens, your energy shifts. But feeling everything doesn't mean you are receiving a clean signal. It means your antenna is open. And if your antenna is open, without discernment, you will drown. Because when you don't have a filter, three things happen at once. First, you take in more than your body can process. You're not just sensing one person, you are sensing the atmosphere, you're sensing what's unspoken, you're sensing tension, grief, anxiety, anger, emotional charge, even when nobody is saying anything. Your nervous system cannot metabolize that much incoming information all day. So overload happens and it can feel like tightness in the solar plexus, heaviness in the chest, fatigue that comes out of nowhere, brain fog, irritability, headaches, nausea. That sense of I need to get out of here. And second, you start confusing information with responsibility. You sense something, and part of you interprets it, I must do something. So you start scanning, managing, anticipating, holding, fixing, carrying. Even if you do none of that externally, you're doing it internally. You are generating labor on top of the perception. And that internal labor is exhausting. Third, you lose your baseline. When you're constantly open, you stop knowing what is yours and what is not. You don't know if this is your emotion, someone else's emotion, the atmosphere of a space, an old memory, a fear response, or something your system picked up and started carrying. Everything becomes mixed. And when everything is mixed, you can't orient yourself, you can't settle, you can't make clean decisions. That's why discernment matters, because sensitivity without a filter doesn't become wisdom, it becomes overwhelm. Now, I want to add a spiritual layer to this. And I want to be very clear about the tone. I'm not preaching here, I'm not telling you what to believe. I am sharing what I've learned through experience, and you can take what resonates, leave the rest. When you're spiritually open, intention matters out loud. Boundaries are not only for relationships with people here on earth, they matter in your inner world too. You don't accept access from everyone, you don't take advice from everyone, you don't let everything in. You decide what you're available for. You choose the quality of what you engage with. And in my experience, not everything you sense carries the same quality. Some things feel clean, some things feel charged, some things feel steady, whereas some things feel pushy, some things feel spacious, some things feeling hooking. And when you're learning discernment, the main question is not, is this spiritual or not? The main question is it clean? Does it settle you into yourself? Or does it pull you out of yourself? So my practice became simple. Before I engage with anything, especially when I communicate with the other side, whether I am doing a session for my clients as a psychic medium or whether I communicate with my own team of loved ones, spirit guides, angels, I ask, is this aligned with my highest good? Does this feel steady in my body? Is this clean or is it charged? And if it feels charged, urgent, emotionally loaded, I pause, because clean guidance doesn't hijack you. It may challenge you, it may stretch you, but it doesn't destabilize you. Now, that's why when I communicate with my spirit team, I am very, very strict with what energies I allow in. And I always say out loud that I communicate with those energies who walk in the white light of God. That creates that safe space for my clients, but also when I am asking for my own higher self to provide information as well. So I'm very, very intentional in terms of whether I'm going to be listening to my loved ones, angels, guides, or whether I'm only opening up to my higher self. And that makes the information cleaner and more supportive of you. But now let's bring this into ordinary life, because this is not only about communication with the spirit world. If you are sensitive, you might have had this experience. You wake up feeling fine, grounded, even happy, then suddenly you feel sadness in your body, or anxiety, or agitation, and there is nothing in your life that explains it. And this is often the moment where people start blaming themselves. What is wrong with me? Why am I like this? But a different question changes the whole experience. Is this mine? Is this mine? Or am I picking up something that doesn't belong to me? Feel how clean that question is. It interrupts the spiral. It brings you back to choice. If it's yours, you can stay with it and listen. If it's not yours, you can release it. And release doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be simple. It can be one sentence. This is not mine. Return it. I call my energy back. Then you bring your field closer, not collapsed, contained. You let your body be the home again. You let your energy sit inside your skin. You stop extending yourself into every room. You stop stretching into everyone's emotional, energetic field. And you might have to do that more than once. And this isn't a one time realization, it's a practice, especially if you've spent years being over available over responsible, over attuned, especially if you've been praised for being the steady one, the understanding one, the one who can hold everyone. And if you recognize yourself in that, I want you to be gentle, because the woman who can hold everyone is often the woman who struggles to hold herself. Not because she's weak, because she's been trained to live externally, trained to manage atmosphere, trained to be good, trained to keep things smooth. So clean signal becomes a new way of living, a new kind of intimacy with yourself. It's learning to come back again and again to what is steady inside you. And sometimes interference is not external at all. Sometimes interference is internal. It's fear, it's conditioning, it's the voice that says, be liked, be easy, don't disappoint, don't be too much. That voice can distort your signal too. So, clean signal is not only about protecting from the outside, it's about returning to what is steady inside you. This is where self trust becomes real. Self trust is not bravado, self trust is not confidence. Self trust is behavioral loyalty. It's the relationship you have with your own knowing. And the reason I care so much about clean signal is because when you come back to your signal, life becomes to simplify. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop rehearsing conversations that will never happen. You stop carrying moods that were never yours. You start making decisions that are aligned. Not always easy, but clean. Not always comfortable, but coherent. And the external life responds to that internal coherence. Now, I am going to take you into a guided practice, not to fix you, not to force calm, but to bring you back into your own center, to help your system stop living outside of itself. And at the end, I'll give you a few affirmations, not because you need to think positive, because your nervous system responds to language and the energy behind it. Words can become a boundary, words can also become a choice. Words can remind you who you are when your energy starts leaking out of you. So if you're driving, keep your eyes opened and let my voice guide your attention gently. If you're at home, soften your gaze or close your eyes. Let this be simple. Let this be a return. So let's take a slow breath in through your nose and let your exhale be longer than your inhale. Again, inhale and exhale as if you're letting the day drop off your shoulders. Let's do it one more time. Inhale and exhale. Now bring your attention to the front of your body, to the solar plexus first, the space above your navel, below your ribs. This is where you often feel the world. This is where you often brace without noticing. Just notice what's there. No analyzing, no story, just sensation. Now bring your attention to your heart space, the center of your chest. Notice what's there. Maybe it's open. Maybe it's guarded. Maybe it's tired. Maybe it's fine. You don't have to make anything happen. Now let your breath move as if it knows how to make space. Inhale gently and exhale slowly. And now with each exhale, imagine you're coming back into your body like you've been away and you're returning home. Let's do it again. Inhale and exhale. Now imagine your energy, your attention, your life force has been pulled outward into your phone, into your to-do list, into other people's moods, into conversations you're still replaying, into spaces you haven't even entered yet, into expectations, into pressure, into being good. Just notice where you feel stretched. Now, on your exhale, say silently or out loud, I call my energy back. I call my energy back. And imagine your energy returning, not rushing, not yanking, returning like a tide. Again, inhale, exhale. I call my energy back. Now, imagine your field sitting closer to your body, not as protection through fear, but as containment through sovereignty. Like your energy knows the shape of you, like it stops reaching, like it stops scanning, like it stops bracing. Now ask softly, what am I carrying that doesn't belong to me? And do not search for an answer with your mind. Ask and notice. If your body softens, let it soften. If you feel a sigh, move through, let it move through. And now say silently or again out loud, anything that is not mine, return to where it belongs. Anything that is mine, stay and speak clearly. And now imagine a simple dial in front of you, a dial for sensitivity. You're not turning it off, you are not numbing, you are choosing a setting that your body can hold. So say silently, I adjust the volume to what is manageable for my human experience. I receive cleanly. I stay steady. I stay inside myself. Now bring attention to your feet. Feel them on the floor. Notice the points of contact. Notice the weight of your body. Notice that you are here. Now bring attention to your breath. Let it be natural. And ask one final question softly. What is my clean signal today? You might receive a word, a sentence, a feeling, a simple knowing, or you might receive nothing, and that's fine. Sometimes the clean signal is simply rest. Sometimes it is wait. Sometimes it is no, not today. Or choose yourself. Let whatever arrives be enough. Take one more slow breath in and a long exhale out. When you're ready, open your eyes and then let's do a couple of affirmations. Repeat after me or simply listen. I return to myself. I return to myself. I return to myself. I release what is not mine. I release what is not mine. I release what is not mine. I do not carry what I didn't choose. I do not carry what I didn't choose. I do not carry what I didn't choose. My energy belongs with me. My energy belongs with me. One more time. My energy belongs with me. I choose clarity over urgency. I choose clarity over urgency. I choose clarity over urgency. Let's do it one more time. I choose clarity over urgency. I trust what is steady. I am allowed to have boundaries. I am allowed to change my mind. I trust what is steady. I'm allowed to have boundaries. I'm allowed to change my mind. I trust what is steady. I am allowed to have boundaries. I am allowed to change my mind. And finally, I honor my inner signal. I move from truth, not pressure. I honor my inner signal. I move from truth, not pressure. I honor my inner signal. I move from truth, not pressure. Take a breath and let those words settle in your body like a boundary closing gently, like a door that you are allowed to shut. And before we close, I want to bring you back to something simple. You don't need to become louder to be powerful. You need to become clearer. And if you take one thing from this episode, let it be this. When you feel yourself start to absorb, when you feel yourself start to spiral, pause and ask, is this mine? If it's yours, stay with it. Listen. Be honest. If it's not yours, release it, return it, and come back into your own skin. This is how self trust becomes real, not through intensity, through repetition. Now, if you want support with this is exactly the work I do inside my magnetic self love private sessions. There are two ways to work with me. Magnetic self love recalibration is 5 private sessions, 75 minutes each, usually across 8 to 12 weeks, adapted to your real life. And then we have Magnetic Self Love Coherence Blueprint, which is 10 private sessions, 75 minutes each, usually across 4 to 6 months, with deeper integration and a dedicated intuitive identity and soul mapping session to clarify your compass and your next season. If you feel called, you can apply through the link in the episode description. You can also check more details about uh, this type of support on my website, martathemedium.com. Thank you for being here with me today. And if this episode supported you, share it with a friend who feels too much and has been trying to explain it away. I'm sending everyone so much love. Thank you for being here. Bye.